Colin, how are we doing,
How's it
guys?
going? You
Oh,
all right?
good
Nice
to
to see you
be
guys.
back on the shout out, guys. We have a
Yeah.
very special guest today. We've got a legendary acoustic guitarist, vocalist, just all round really cool guy. We love to hang out with him. It's Reed Johnson, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing, Reed?
Hi everyone. Yeah, thank you for having me.
Welcome.
It's an honor to be on here. So
You're more than welcome, man. You got
yeah,
a great shirt on, by the way.
thank you very much. Yes, I
Definitely
think I got
dressed the
this in a
smartest
I got
out
it
of
in a
any
charity
project.
shop in Ware, I think.
Charity
You do
shop. We love
get
that.
Yeah.
best
We love
dressed
that.
guest so far, I'd say.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
well done.
very
And
nice.
and you shouted out a charity shop, which hasn't happened before. So
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it was I think it was Mind, I think.
ah, we
Shout out
love
mind.
we love that. And you got some bling on too?
I got a couple lots of bits of bling on. I have a
Dude!
bit more normally, but I had some bits here, but they were too rattly.
You're right.
It's probably not
When they're
good like
clanging around.
audio. I got these as well. I took them off because they were catching my shirt. I was like, okay,
God
what
forbid
am I
people
doing here?
think you're a drummer.
Yeah, yeah, tape like a maraca to my arm or something.
That's not a bad show, actually.
It's
If
got a
you
good
have
shout.
a
No,
show
I
and it's
think
just you on the thing, if you got a little maraca on your arm, it's just
yeah, I'm pretty sure like I think maybe Meg White sometimes had like a maraca taped to one of her drumsticks or something. I
Mm,
could be making that up.
I'll
There's
try
something
it.
like that.
I believe it. I believe
Yeah.
it. I'm convinced.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I guess first thing for me would be your new single.
of
yeah,
course.
February the 14th it came out. We spoke about it a
yeah,
little bit before coming on. But yeah, tell us all about I love it by the way. I think
yeah.
it's really, really good.
Cheers. Yeah, so there's a song that I wrote about a partner, an ex-partner, and kind of also just like a few different things that were happening at the time.
Hmm.
Like uh there's this line in it which is about this taxi driver. Um, and I basically when I was with my ex, I didn't have a car at the time. I get
Hmm.
Ubers like to and from hers. And every now and then there was this Uber driver that I'd get on that trip that was just like so intense. You always want to talk, and I don't mind talking, it's nice sometimes, but sometimes you're like, okay, it was getting like political. He was like he had like a thick kind of Slavic accent. And he was into all these conspiracy theories.
Love that. I love that. What was
Yeah,
you do? What,
stuff like
fake moon?
sun cream is like full of mind control drugs and all this stuff.
Oh, of course.
Depends what
Um,
time of day it is to be talking about conspiracy
yeah,
theories, right?
and often it would be like late in the night or early in the morning, and I was like, oh, okay, But
Yeah.
anyway, then I had a car for a while, and this is like years later. My car stopped working, and that was my fault, to be fair. So I was kind of, I, I basically completely fucked the engine by
Oh,
putting too much engine oil in it, and learnt my lesson
yeah.
very expensively.
Yeah. Oof.
But I was feeling pretty like shit at the time. And so for the first time in a long time, I was getting Ubers again. And I had this guy and I was like, oh my God, this is like not what I want right now. And basically, I was kind of telling him what was going on. We ended up just having this really deep chat about, it was basically just like saying, it's all gonna be okay.
Oh,
Like these things happen and kind of just like building up my spirits a bit. And I was like, yeah,
Mm.
okay. Appreciate that. I haven't seen him since, but
he's
We
out there.
know
He's
this.
probably
This.
listening
yeah,
right now.
I hope
We
he's doing
actually
all
have him
right.
on next week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
coming on next week.
Maybe special guest. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was like something like that happened that was kind of, I don't know, it's one of those things kind of just stands out in your memory as like a moment in time.
Yeah,
I
Um,
like that.
and
that's
yeah,
really
kind of
cool.
included that. And then there's a couple other lines in there about um, kind of like hope and false hope. And there's this idea of like someone saying that things are going to get better, but then there's always these new problems, or they're like old problems disguised as new problems around the corner.
Mm.
But the concept of the song keeps coming back to this kind of relationship and companionship, and
Yeah.
it'll be okay, sort of.
But it's
I,
a lovely song, man, and
thank you
it's
very
great
much.
to hear like the kind of story behind it. It's great. You wouldn't really pick those things out listening to it for like once or twice, but it's great
Mm,
I
to,
did get Uber drivers on my first listen. That was the first thing I thought. Uber
yeah,
um,
drivers. Yeah.
yeah,
straight away.
yeah,
Slavic Uber drivers.
Yeah, that was
yeah,
my first thought was Slavic Uber drivers.
yeah. Well, that is just the radio edit as well. Like I go into a lot more depth on the album version.
Brilliant, man. Oh, it's great to hear a new release from you.
Yeah, cheers.
Maybe jumping ahead here, but like, how do you go about your like process of releasing a song? 'Cause you said you had this one in the bank for a while before you release it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a mess to be honest. I don't really have like a
Mm.
process.
Oh yeah.
Um, I kind of when it comes to like the releasing of it, I don't know, I struggle with album covers and going through all of the stuff on like the distributor.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's too much for my brain sometimes, and I kind of put it off, which is not good. Um,
You've
You're an
got
artist.
really.
It must be difficult just on your own though. Like most people have a band.
Mm.
And,
it can be,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, I have like waves where I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? And I've got a couple of songs now that are ready to go, and another one
Mm,
that's nearly done. Um,
good.
so I've got a couple more that are coming out. The one that I want to put out next, I'm trying to work on the album cover, but I have no idea.
Just
I don't
AI
know.
it, bro.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just AI. ChatGPT will make
Yeah, I could do. I don't like the way that those kind of pictures look sometimes though. Like they look
You
too
can.
perfect,
Yeah.
you
You
know?
can tell as well. It's been done by AI.
Yeah.
Yeah, just don't
Yeah.
look at the shout out podcast logo too deeply there.
I really like
Of course. Yeah.
your song names though. Like what was
Mm.
when the pilots land? Was that the one I listened
Oh
to earlier?
yeah.
When the pilot. I
I
like
love
your
that
song
song.
names.
I love that
Yeah,
song.
They're really
cheers.
cool and interesting.
Thank
Mm,
you. Yeah. That was a fun song to like sort of come up with because it started off as um there was this other song that I was really into, a really I don't know if it's like obscure, but it's kind of not a well-known Vampire Weekend song.
Hmm.
mm.
It was in my head and I knew what the lyrics were, but for some reason my brain would like keep changing them in my head. So when I was singing it, I'd just sing
Yeah.
those lyrics. I'll be here when the pilots land. Um, and I went on the like the official lyrics of the song and I was like, yeah, I don't know where I've got this from. I think the original lyrics of that song are um, I'll be here when the violence ends or something.
Oh, I
Um,
think yours is way better,
It's
personally.
really interesting. You said the exact same thing as Charlie. Charlie will
oh yeah.
like the deliberate way he'll write songs is he'll listen to a song and try and get it wrong, and then he'll work
Yeah.
backwards from there. So it's really
I
weird you
do
said that.
that so often. There's a few more of my songs
Wow.
that are like that. Silly Dreams, that was another one. That was I misheard the lyrics for Empire Ants by Gorillaz.
Hmm.
And I think it's Little Feet in the song,
Hmm.
Yeah.
but it's like your little feet. And again, like I kept just singing your silly dreams.
Oh,
And
wow.
I was like, okay, that's a cool concept.
Yeah,
Uh,
because it's more than just like a single lyric that you take. You kind of create a whole concept
yeah,
out of
yeah,
your own kind of mind by misinterpreting something. It's so cool.
yeah.
And you're the
Is
And
only
that
other
you?
person I've ever met who does that as well.
right, yeah. I mean, I feel like I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know how other people do it, to be fair,
Mm.
but it's definitely a way I can start getting things turning in my head.
Yeah.
Um, and it's like you get like a random concept from something, and it kind of builds from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Is that your kind of music? You mentioned like gorillas and that. Is that
So,
your the bands that you listen to? Because remember when you done, obviously
mm,
jumping back a bit, was Space Fest. You done some covers of like bands that I really like and artists I really
mhm.
like. But what's your like music on your playlist? What are you listening to, or what inspires you?
I listen to like it's so cliche, but I listen to everything.
Yeah.
I guess like main groups over the years that are like more significant are probably Guns N' Roses. Um, more I guess like I mean I love everything about them, but more so like the writing, I suppose.
And the hair, obviously.
Obviously the hair, yeah. Um, and then David Bowie is a massive influence.
Hmm.
Um, anything Jack White does, basically.
Mm. Yeah, I
I
can
just
see
think
that.
he's incredible.
Yeah.
Um, and then like loads of kind of 90s and 2000s like Brit pop and
Mm.
rock from
Nice.
rock from the UK really. Like which is stuff that I kind of grew up with, I suppose. But then I've
Mm.
also got like I was always shown stuff that my dad had when he was growing up as well. So I had that all through my childhood. So I listened to like a lot of Elvis and
Okay.
Carpenters,
Mm,
which again I just absolutely love.
mm.
And then like I'll just go into some weird like niche kind of I don't know Brazilian I'm really into like Brazilian folk music at the moment.
Nice.
Really?
I didn't
Yeah,
know
yeah.
Brazil had folk music. There we go.
Yeah, I mean I guess it's folk music. I don't I'm
Shout out to the
the
Brazilian folk music scene. If you guys are
Yeah,
watching,
yeah. I've been
we
listening to
appreciate you.
this artist called Lobojos. I think that's how
Shout
you
out.
pronounce it. I'm probably
Hey,
putting unneeded emphasis on like
yeah.
Low Borges, I think,
Oh,
and
gorgeous.
like Tim Meyer. Um, both like cool, and I kind of yeah, Spotify feeds me like stuff like that.
It can be quite good for
So
that, actually.
yeah,
Getting
I
you
also got
random.
this book. It's about this big, and it's called 1,001 Albums to Listen to Before You Die.
Oh, really?
It's all in like chronological order. I'm going through it at the moment. It's taken years, but
Okay.
that's just amazing because
That's
it
so cool.
doesn't matter what vibe you're feeling or if you
Mm.
can't think of what you want to listen to, I'll put it on because it's linked to a Spotify playlist and
Hmm.
I'll just listen to something from that time. I'm in like the late 70s at the moment
Nice.
and you just
We
find
listen
some
to,
like crazy stuff. There's a lot of stuff obviously that you've
yeah,
already heard,
yeah,
which is cool. Um, but it's just a great way to just find random stuff.
mm, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Nice.
wicked, man. Let's move on a little bit because we talked a
Hmm.
lot about the writing of the music, and but we
Yeah.
actually met not because we heard your music on Spotify, but because we played a gig with you.
Yeah.
How's the gigging going, man? Have you got many shows coming up? You done
Yeah,
it?
I got a couple little things. I got a charity gig on this
Wicked.
Saturday, the
Nice.
22nd, I think.
Oh, wicked. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
at
it.
the
Yeah.
White Lion in Benjo. That's I think it's for Hearts of Hearts.
Oh, I've
Um,
seen this. Is it? Oh, why not playing there?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
and there's loads of other great acts, and
Mm.
it's they're trying to raise money for a defibrillator, I believe.
Yeah, no, I have
Nice.
heard of this thing. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah, it's really cool. Like something that you'd never really think that is really important, but that
Mm,
if you just raise
Yeah.
money, like having a defibrillator can save someone's life, and
yeah, yeah, definitely.
raising money for those guys, something like that is real great, man. It's really cool.
Yeah, so that should be a really cool gig. Hopefully, the
Mm.
weather's really nice and
Yeah.
it'd be a really
Yeah,
nice day out. It's pretty much all day. I'm on at 3, and I think I'm the first act, and it's going to like 10, I think.
I
really.
know. At
So,
least you get to enjoy the rest of it. Everyone else has to kind of
Yeah,
wait and
yeah,
not have too many beers, but you can.
yeah, I kind of like going on early and just being like, well, that's done now. I can
oh,
relax.
tell me about it, man. Going on first or second is just
Mm.
absolutely ideal. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as it's nice to be like the headline,
Yeah,
you
Yeah.
know,
It has
I
its
feel like
disadvantages.
yeah, I stand there the whole time and I'm like, oh, my fucking heart's going.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, okay. I've
Sober
already had
at
two
10.
beers. That's too much, you know. Fuck it all
Is
up.
two your limit? Is two like the
I
most?
think when I'm performing, I think 2 is the limit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think maybe 1 would be sufficient.
yeah,
Depending like how long I've got to go. Like if I
that's
was
just
on
it.
in an hour, I'd probably just have 1.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but then
If it
if
was
you get there for sound check at like 6 and you're on at
yeah.
10, how are you expected to only have like one or two beers? I
I
don't
don't know, it's ridiculous. I don't know why they do it. Yeah.
ridiculous. I
Um
find that anything after two, I do notice it, but I'm not a singer, so I probably get a bit more leeway than you would. Do you think?
Well, I don't know because it's the guitar I struggle with when
Is
I
it?
have had a
Mm,
few drinks. Yeah.
no.
I think the singing is fine as long as I've had enough like time to warm up before.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
like to give
Okay.
myself like an
Okay.
hour or two to warm up before
Okay.
a gig. But it's the guitar. I'm not really a good guitarist if I'm honest. Like I'm
You're not a
trying to
first guest
put
who said that.
yeah, I'm trying to like put a band together at the moment.
Nice.
Um and as soon as I can get someone to do the guitar for me, I'll
Yeah.
be a lot happier.
Do you want to just be there with the microphone in hand?
Yeah, the guitar stresses me out, and I do it to accompany myself, and I do it to write. But performing, doing the guitar and singing, it's like I don't
It's
want to.
quite a lot, to be fair. It's quite a lot for one person to do. I think you're a great guitarist. I've seen you play.
Thank you.
I think you're great. But yeah, I understand how like just being one guy, you've got so much pressure on you to get all the
Mm.
chords right and get all the notes right and the vocals as well. It must be a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I
How many
think as
bands have
well,
you
like
done?
I just if I had a guitarist that I could write with,
Mm,
I'd love to have someone that I'm like, you're really good at that and that can be your job, you
Yep.
know?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because I can do simple like chord structures and stuff with guitar with a little, cheeky kind of pinky on a random string here and
Yeah, yeah, I love
make
that.
it. Yeah.
A bit of it's
But
so
that's it.
small.
Yeah.
Really.
And all these amazing guitarists that I love in history, I I just look at and I'm like, you're incredible, but I don't even want to try to like
Yeah.
learn that.
Mm.
No,
Mm.
it's not my thing.
So you need a band then?
Yes, yeah, I got a few people at the moment.
Oh, wicked.
Nice.
We're trying to set up a little thing, little regular kind of rehearsal. Hopefully,
Nice.
maybe in the summertime we'll start doing
Mm.
some gigs together.
Any band
And
name ideas? Yep.
I think it's just gonna be me, just
Nice.
Yeah, it's
Pete
gonna
Johnson.
I think
And
it's changing, but people like don't really go for band names anymore. You can just have the lead singer's name. I like it.
well, yeah, I mean, the idea was that we're gonna try and perform some of my songs because they're all uh, recorded with a band.
Mm.
mm.
But whenever I do gigs, it's just like a acoustic
Hmm.
version.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it'd be great to hear that with a full band, I think.
Yeah, it would be sick. So I was gonna ask about this. I'll jump onto it now.
Mm,
When you record your records, is it I've imagined it was you kind of doing all of the guitar and bass parts and then
no.
so you have a band around you to
Well, there's a guy that I work with called
yeah.
Rob Clydesdale, who's an amazing producer and multi-instrumentalist, and
Oh,
he's
cool.
incredible. Um, and yeah, I'll come to him with the lyrics and the chords,
Mm,
and he'll um he'll sort of lay that down and we'll put some ideas out there and I'll often have a couple ideas that I can put to him and we'll just trial stuff out and see what works in terms of the like the bass and the drums and the guitar.
mm.
And yeah, he's just incredible. He can just, I'll
That's
kind of
really good.
describe it in the most horrific musical terminology ever. And he'll be like, okay, I think I know what you mean. Is it like this?
Yeah,
I'm like, that's
Nice.
it.
love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
That's
But yeah,
good.
so everything's recorded with like a full band in that sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, sorry, can you say the bloke's name again? I've
Rob Clydesdale.
Shout out.
shout out to Rob Clydesdale.
Shout
So
out.
when you do go bring your record to him, how much time did you spend on like getting it from chords to a finished product? Is it like
So I
day?
normally, when I'm working with him, I normally see him like once a week,
Mm.
for 3 or 4 hours. And maybe it takes like 3 or 4 sessions.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess like 16 hours ish.
Yeah. Wicked.
Yeah, depending on what the song is. Some
Mm.
songs have been like easier than others. The first song that I ever released took ages.
Is that when the pilots land or is that
No,
is
No,
that
that
was
that
the
was it
minimum
was
wage one, right?
Dancing in the Summer Breeze.
okay?
Minimum Wage was one that my sister released, and I
Ah,
was like a backing vocal on that.
all right. I like that
Um,
one. I listened to that too.
yeah, a lot of people like that one.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's a really nice one. I remember because she does music as well, Cedar Rose Johnson. No,
Another shout
Oh,
out.
shout
Huh.
shouting
out!
everyone out.
Yes.
Um,
You're doing
and
well. You're doing well, lad. Keep it
yeah,
up.
yeah, and I got a little list here of people.
Ah,
Do you
Um,
actually?
no,
break his heart. Break his
I was like, this
heart.
man came so prepared.
yeah. I wish I was that prepared. I was trying to log into Zoom for like 10 minutes before I came on here. I
Oh,
was
I did.
stressing out. Asked me to put in my password like twice, and
I don't know why we use Zoom. It's not. It's
um,
shouts.
yeah, she
Shouts to Zoom.
she like knocked on my bedroom door one day, and I think I was still asleep. And she was like, "Look, I've written this song. I just want some male vocals. Can you sing
Mm.
this bit?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah." And I like leant into her iPhone microphone and did like that little bit that I'm doing in the song. And I think she put it together on um what's the Apple like music thing?
Oh,
Yeah,
I can remember.
and
I remember
Garage
using
Band.
GarageBand. Was yeah.
Oh, GarageBand.
I think it was that, yeah. And then she kind of put that together and then went to Rob with it, and he yeah put it all together. I redid the vocals. Yeah. But
Nice.
the first song I released, "Dancing in the Summer Dream," "Dancing in the Summer Breeze," can't remember it. Um, the that was like the first time I'd really properly sung on something or been in a studio and like sung a song, and I was just not well practiced enough. And there's a bit at the end of that song which is quite a high note, which at the time was like right at the top of where I could reach vocally. And it must have taken 3 sessions going in just to do that line. And it was horrendous. I just didn't know what I was doing
Your
until
voice must have been dying by the end of one of those sessions.
yeah, it was just like I didn't know what how to like sing
Mm.
that properly. I didn't know how to support it and all of that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
How did you get started out with music?
Um,
You always been a musician.
so yeah, I mean, we've always been quite a musical family. My dad did a lot of music when he was younger,
Mm.
and has just always like enjoyed music. So, it was always his sort of influences on me. Um, and he's also always done like a lot of writing. So there was always that creativeness in the family. And then when I was in like year 4, I think, I started drum lessons,
Okay.
and
Mm.
I did that for about 4 years till year 8. And then I think it didn't, I liked drumming, but it kind of felt like the structure of the lessons were quite restrictive. I didn't
Mm.
really vibe with the teacher that much.
Mm.
Um, I remember when I was in year 6, and it was my last lesson before I went off to secondary school. And he was like, "Oh, are you gonna carry on doing the drums?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah." And he's like, "What school are you going to?" And I was like, "I'm going to Seal." And I'm like, "Oh, brilliant! I teach drums there as well." Like, oh God,
How good are your paradiddles?
parody! I couldn't do a parody. I mean, I could do it slow, but
Dan was like, after 5 episodes, I can finally
Yeah.
talk about
Someone
drumming.
knows
Like,
drumming.
no.
Ah.
yeah, I know what it is. I think, but yeah, I'd have to have some practice. But yeah, so I did that for 4 years, and like I said, I really enjoyed it. I love drumming, but it was um it was all the theory behind it all, and kind of sitting there going over something with like a track playing,
Yeah.
you know, just over and over again. I was like, oh, this is terrible. And then through like the rest of school, I didn't really do much music. I always liked the idea of singing, but I was quite nervous and didn't really know where to go. Um, we always did different music things in music class.
Yeah.
I remember they tried to teach us guitar, but it just didn't make any sense to me. I was looking at it and I saw someone playing it, making like melody out of it, and I was like, I think we had to do some like 4-bar blues or something on it, and I was like, I don't get it. I couldn't understand like the physics of it.
The physics.
Um, yeah, and
Bro, I've been playing guitar for like 16 years. I don't get the physics of
I
it.
yeah,
still can't play a single chord, and I've been around these guys for ages. I can't work out how to play a chord.
yeah. And I remember I did it a couple lessons and I was like, no. And then I tried piano and I got on a bit better at that. I ended up getting a piano after school and learned like a bunch of my favorite songs on that. But again, I kind of felt like I kept going back to singing and songwriting, and that was really what I enjoyed. So I kind of just started learning to sing properly online, just finding all
Wow.
these different like YouTubers.
Yeah.
There's this one guy who like specifically um, told you like the techniques for rock singing,
Oh,
and
cool.
I found that so interesting. And then I got his like it's like a online course.
Mhm.
I got that, and he's got all of these like different techniques and warm up exercises, and it was just amazing. Then I suddenly realized like how to kind of support yourself properly, and
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and then I think like the songwriting side of it all was just something I had to figure out on my own, take like inspiration from songs that I loved and kind of dissect it a bit in my head. I used to go on, that website Genius Lyrics.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I used to when I worked at this pub if it was slow, I'd just like stand there on my phone, like going through all these lyrics of songs and trying to work out like what they meant. Um, and I mean, I don't know if you'll ever really know what they meant unless the person says it themselves.
Yeah.
But it was interesting seeing how it was all like dissected
Yeah.
and structured. And yeah, I always found that really interesting. So that was sort of my aim um, at the end of the day, I think.
Yeah. I can tell. Going on back a little bit, the 4 years you spent drumming, do you
Mm-hmm.
think that has like come back around and kind of helped you when you're like recording these records because you know kind of what a drummer's meant to do and meant to sound like? Or do you think,
Yeah, in a way, I
mm,
don't know. Again, like it's when it comes to the theory of all these things, I'm terrible. And again, like Rob is much better at that. So
okay,
he'll do it. And
yeah.
I kind of sit there and I'll be like, can we have like a blah, you know?
Oh,
And
this
he'll
is
go,
welcome to my world. This is what we do
That's
with
what
me at
we give
practice every
Dan.
week.
yeah,
Dan and Charlie go like, "Can you do a boogadum badum bum?"
yeah,
Which means what?
I'll be like, Dad, can you
exactly.
do that? Just like, but bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, he gets it. He's like, yeah, I
Yeah.
know exactly. And he's also very good, and this is something I would have missed if I was doing it myself. He makes it so that a drummer could play it because we're doing it on like on
Mm.
Ableton.
Oh, okay.
And,
Oh, cool.
so it's not a live kit,
Mm.
but he's always making sure that you've not got like too many things, and
Yeah.
that suddenly a drummer who had to play this isn't playing like five things at once. um, which
That's
is a
cool.
good attention to detail because
I like
I would have
that.
just not even thought about
All the beats from like Logic drummers are just like crazy fills for no reason, or like the
that. Yeah,
beats make no
And
sense.
my entire dissertation at uni was drum beats that would be absolutely impossible to play live.
yeah,
And guitar parts as well. I just layered so much stuff over on top of each other that it would.
and I can imagine there's quite a lot, is there?
Yeah, so much, man. I
Yeah,
just wrote 6 songs and there was like seven guitar parts on each of them.
wow, yeah,
It's just like I didn't even get that good with a grade. I just haven't got a shit
fair
grade.
enough. Was it interesting though? It must have been like
I wouldn't say it
research.
was. It was fun. It was kind of the path of least resistance. That was
Right.
my
It's a
kind.
big debate on this podcast, music education, because
Mm,
Yeah.
I dropped out after 2 months from BIM, and I think music education is like the biggest load of waffle ever. But
yeah.
I did an entire music
yeah,
degree,
Mm,
and I don't think it's the biggest part of what.
yeah. I
But
think
yeah, it
it
was.
depends where you want to go musically. You know, it's like if you're trying to be a doctor, yeah, you should probably go to uni.
yeah.
It's like if you want to go and play in like the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra, probably like have a music degree,
Yeah,
Like
you
session
know?
musicians, it kind of works for those guys, right?
Yeah. If you love music and you want to start writing music, I think there's a lot of steps you can take before having to go to university
Hmm.
to figure it out on your own. And then if you get to a point where you go, you know what, I need to be taught this in a way that,
Mm.
is easier for me, and that's uni. But like, there's this interview with Duff McKagan, the bassist from Guns N' Roses, where he says that
Shout.
I think it was after they broke up, he started learning to play bass.
Didn't
Oh,
Like he had never had a lesson or something. And then he went, I don't know if he went to uni or whatever, but he started having bass
it?
lessons.
That's crazy. You're
Yeah.
Guns and Roses, and then you decide, you know what, I'm gonna get a few lessons.
Yeah,
Imagine
like,
like you're the bass teacher, and you know you've got a new student, and you see the name, I'm like, oh, that's weird. It's the same name as
yeah,
same name as the bassist for Guns and Roses. And he comes on in, and you see him there, and you're like, what do you want me to teach you, bro? Like,
yeah,
that'd
yeah,
be insane.
yeah. So I think, what are your priorities? I don't think if you want to be a musician, you have to go to uni.
Apparently not, because most people who make it haven't gone to uni.
No, exactly.
Yeah,
And you probably find that's the same in like loads of industries.
yeah, it probably
The
is.
yeah.
whole idea of university, I think, is kind of mismarketed in
Yeah.
a lot of ways.
I guess you wouldn't have a lot of the opportunity. Like you wouldn't meet certain people that, like, I guess for you, Dan, like you met our bassist Alex, or like some people there meet
And Harry.
promoters, or yeah, and Harry, right? So I guess it gives you opportunity. But I just think like, yeah,
I
for me,
think,
my vendetta was against BIM and like what an
yeah.
absolute cash grab BIM is.
Mm.
But we had a guy on from BIM as well.
Yeah, and he's doing really well. Maybe it's
He's
me.
doing
Maybe
really
I'm
well.
just
He's doing
like a
great.
fucking
He's
idiot.
crushing it. At BIM,
Yeah.
he met his whole band. He
Yeah, yeah.
crushed
I'm
it.
Yeah.
the idiot. I'll take it. I'll take
I
it.
think
Sure.
I think the big thing with music, like going to further education specifically to study music, is you really need to like just grab it by the balls and make the
Mm.
absolute most out of it possible. Like I coasted through uni, just like going out and having fun and putting not a lot of effort into my work, basically.
Mm.
And I didn't get a lot out of it. And then I spent a year moaning about, oh, my degree's useless. I can't believe I spent it on the. I was like, I could have made a lot more. I could
Yeah.
have made a bit more of an effort and actually used the fact that I wasn't working because I was a student and meeting, like talking to people in local venues, talking to artists and just being like, what can I actually do here? Whereas I was kind of waiting until after uni to do all that. And by then
Mm.
it's kind of too late to really make the most of it.
Mm.
But that's how you got here at the end of the
That's how
day.
I got here on the Shout
So
Out podcast, ladies
Yeah,
and gentlemen.
we are
so
thriving right now.
yeah.
What a way
Sometimes
to
it's not
round it off.
even sometimes it's not even worth like thinking, should I done this? Should I done that? It's like,
Yeah,
well, you did what you did and you're here,
Yeah.
you know? And maybe what you got from uni
Mhm.
was, realizing that you didn't need it.
yeah,
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah. And meeting my bassist and my
There you
girlfriend.
go. Yeah, I think networking is definitely
Yeah. Yeah. That's the big
going to be
one.
a positive. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I
But
just think about like coming from because I'm more like about the songwriting style. If I was interested in learning like an instrument to the best of my ability, then maybe it would have been good. But I
mm,
think when it comes to like songwriting, I don't know. Maybe I could have done like an English degree or something.
yeah,
it might have helped actually quite a lot if you did like
Yeah,
English literature.
yeah. I just can't
Would
help but look at people like Bob Dylan and think like I don't think he went to uni. I could be
have.
wrong. I actually don't know. Now I'm saying this, I wouldn't want to like say he didn't, and then someone goes, no, he like, had a degree, in
I'm pretty
songwriting.
safe.
But I think it's I don't know, you don't want to structure creativity too much.
Yeah.
yeah,
Totally. Totally. What a great way to round it off. Dan, do you want to get him to add some songs to your playlist?
yeah. I've got a big question for you, Reed. We
Okay.
have a shout out podcast playlist
Okay.
where we get you to add one of your songs and
Hmm.
then add another song, whether that be from a massive band or from like a local artist, whatever you want to add in there.
Okay.
So which one of your songs would you like to add, and what other song would you like to add? And I
Okay.
will do it this second.
Well, add my new one.
Yeah.
Imagine what they say. Yeah.
Imagine what they say. And I'm gonna have to find. So this is one of my favorite songs of all time.
He's got 1,001 albums to scroll through now, so we
Yeah.
can't.
It's in Portuguese, so I don't know
Okay.
what the song's
Hey,
about. I don't know what it's called or anything.
This is our
But
first Portuguese song on the playlist. Actually, this is good.
it's
oh, is this our first non-English song on the playlist?
No, Charlie put a French one on.
nice.
Yeah.
I also like a lot of French bands at the moment.
Oh, there we go. Bonjour.
So this
Ah.
is it's called like Pays.
Sorry, you. Damn.
What?
It was like I like a lot of French artists, and you went hola. It's completely
Oh.
wrong.
I went ooh la la.
Oh, I thought you said hola. I was thinking like,
Let the man add a fucking song to the playlist. Stop interrupting him.
Okay.
You're not the guest.
So I'm gonna have to spell it out to you, I think.
yeah.
So it's PAISAGEM
PAI. Yeah. Yeah.
space and then DA
Yeah.
space
Yeah.
JAN.
I got it. La
Cool.
Borges.
Yeah. And
Add it
it's
in.
like the happiest song you'll ever hear.
I like that.
I really need to hear this one.
I don't know what it's about. It could be about the darkest thing you've ever like. Um,
The
But
guy
it's
seems really happy in his picture.
yeah, that's kind of what makes me feel like it might be, I don't know.
It's just about like
Some satanistic song.
about like dead babies or something.
Well, the album cover is like some kids like sitting on the
Oh
side
yeah,
of
it's an
the road or
interesting album
something
cover.
in like some dirt. So
Yeah.
um, I don't know what it's about,
Oh
but
man,
it is like so happy, I think.
I like that.
I look
Sounds
forward to
like
listening to it.
Yeah,
Maybe
let me know.
never look at the lyrics just so it can always be a happy song for you.
yeah, yeah. It might be really nice. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe it's better not known.
Maybe. Well, mate, this has been a lot of fun. Congrats on the new single
Thank
and
you very
everything
much.
else. Have you got anything coming up that you want to shout out? Or you shouted
Um,
you've
Gig
got coming-
dates.
I'm looking for a bassist.
Oh yeah, this
Um,
could be a great opportunity if
so
you are watching and you're a
um,
bass.
yeah, I think I'm talking to a bassist at the moment, but he might be going away soon. So bassist, probably guitarist. I have a
Guitarist.
guitarist, but I need another one to do my bit
Okay.
so I can sing. Um, management, um,
Management.
This is a
album
whole
artist,
business with
designer,
yeah.
um, record
Any,
label.
any record labels coming?
You
Some
know,
funding would be nice.
O2 Arena, you got any?
yeah, anyone that has like a couple dozen thousand fans that are looking
I'm
for
with you.
a new artist
Yeah.
to go and see.
I'm sure
Um,
from this podcast you will get millions of
You're gonna get so many people
fans.
signing in from this.
yeah, I hope so. Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Well, if
Oh
you're
man,
looking
this
to
has been
play
so.
bass, play guitar, manage a band,
Yeah,
get in touch
yeah, or design album covers.
Yeah.
or design album
Brilliant.
covers.
Yeah. Um,
Reed, thank you so much for coming on. This has just been actually so much fun of an episode. Cheers,
thank you very
Dan.
much for
Dan,
having me.
thank you for watching this episode of the Shout Out Podcast with me, Danny B, and Mr. Dan Wood, our excellent guest, Reed Johnson, as well. Thank you so much. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, do all the fun stuff. Take it easy, guys. Good night.
Au revoir.